So I just had an amazing life with the great teacher Will. And I am just so incredibly happy to have met this brother. I am so happy that I was a guest on his platform. Big shout out to teacher Eliza. I just love you. Seriously, she is the reason why we were able to connect and have live together. And I hope this will not be the last time. Shout out to my brother, teacher Leon. You know, you are just brother from another mother. Seriously, much respect and love for you. You know, just shout out to all of my teachers. All of my teachers, shout out to all of you because we are the reason why we are in this profession. We are the reason why we help the students that we help. And I am just so incredibly grateful, humbled. I'm a little emotional. I don't know why. I feel a little emotional because, you know, to see people, the wonderful students here, my family members here at Applied ESL, you know, his family from the ATW family, you know, post very positive comments and say, hey, you know, we like what she's talking about. We like what she's saying, or I'm going to follow her. It's very touching to me, friends, because I want to make sure I say this, and it's something I said in the live, and once he posted live, I will post it here.
Learn English with Flavio says, we love you, Teacher Dara. You're a huge
Oh, thank
inspiration to
you.
many of us. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You think that representation plays within the ESL community, the value to a content provider that happens to be teaching, or more importantly, from a student's perspective?
Wonderful question. I would say representation is very important because it kind of goes back to that relatability. When people don't feel confident, or they're feeling like maybe they are being told that they're less than, you know, or they're told that they can't speak English, or whatever this personal situation, or simply just because of who they are or their religion alone. It's like, we don't like you, whatever. If they can see some type of representation of themselves doing well, speaking well, getting the respect that they deserve. We all deserve respect, okay? But you gotta give respect to get respect too. So that's key. It gives you a sense of belonging. And I'm speaking, and this is very personal to me because this is something I didn't have. And this is part of the reason why I actually considered quitting the ESL profession, because I didn't see representation. I was always told something was wrong with me, and I don't belong. And I was actually told this. So for me, I always like to tell people teaching ESL is my profession, my career, but it's very personal to me as well. There's a lot of stuff that I share on my platforms that is part of Dara. So if you want to get to know Dara as a person rather than just a teacher, you're going to see that in a lot of the lessons I teach, the books I create here, doing lives, for example, because I just want people, no matter what you are, whether you're a teacher, student, or just someone who's curious, to really understand that representation is critical in all professions, in all cultures, in all places. Where, like Teacher Will, I love that you said that, you know, if you're not invited, have a seat at say this table, create your own. And that's what I'm trying to do with Applied ESL. And that's the reason, truthfully, why I started my own business, because I got sick and tired of being laid off from jobs, or being told that we don't want you, or you're too this. And it took a hip surgery it was so bad that I might have not been able to walk. That's how bad it was. And it was at that time during my recoveries when I said, you know what, maybe I should look into starting my own business. And that was back in 2013. And that's where the journey started. And so my company is Dara. And my hope with Applied ESL is to do stuff I'm doing now with Teacher Well, collaborate with teachers, talk about representation, promote love, encouragement, motivation, you know, making you feel like you belong. You belong because we're all on this planet together. We're all here. And you don't ever have to feel ashamed or have anyone make you feel ashamed. And I did a video about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, don't let any teacher make you feel less than simply because of who you are.
Say
Please
that.
do not tolerate that.
Say
Do
that.
not tolerate that. And as teachers, let me say this too. Don't let learners make you feel that you're less than simply because of who you are. It goes both ways. So I would say to that teacher, well, to everyone listening, representation is so important. And if people feel like they belong, they feel better about themselves, they're more willing to try their best, really. But if they feel like, oh, I'm just the only one here, it's very discouraging, and we need to change that.
I love the aspect that first of all, thank you so much for sharing your personal testimony because I think that's so important.
Mhm.
And I love the aspect where it's kind of like, you know what, it kind of legend said it's sort of like you being your own boss. I think what's in, in my own life, and thank you for re-energizing me and confirming something where it's the aspect whereas, listen, when you're in my own sense, when you're being your own self and having a sense of authenticity in my own life, that doesn't mean that you don't face obstacles, challenges,
Yes.
closed doors for whatever. But I
Mhm.
think it's really, really important that, hey, that you have, if you do not feel or think or believe as though that, you know what, you can create your own table. And I think you can create your own business. I do think the aspect of entrepreneurship is very important for people as a whole, but particularly as it relates to people of color and African Americans. Create your own table. Learners, that ability, when I'm saying to you, to create your own table, is that sense of discovery of yourself
Yes.
through English. And that does
Yes.
not mean that you won't face obstacles or barriers, but the ability to define yourself for English starts with you. And then finding your tribe and recognizing and realize that, hey, you're going to have ups and downs in your journey, but it is possible. I love the fact that you said that. Oops, sorry.
Thank
I
you.
love the fact that you said that. So,
You know, teaching English is not just my career, it's personal to me. Everything I do here is a part of Dara. I really hope you know that. When you see the logo, Applied ESL, that's me, okay? Every single lesson, every single book I have created, and I did actually talk about my lovely books. It just makes me feel so good to hold all of my books in my hand. It's, you have to know, friends, that this was a long journey, okay? This was such a long journey. I was laid off from a job that I worked for 6 years that I absolutely loved. And the way the layoff happened, let's just say it didn't go very well. But that's in my first book, Life's Reflected Twist. Okay. Then I had a major hips. I had 2 hip surgeries, which were major. So this wasn't no little procedure. Okay. The first one took me out for like 6 months, like 3 to 4 months. I couldn't even walk, and by the fifth, 6th month, I was able to move around a little bit. So it was during this time when I made a decision to start my own business, but I had no clue what I was doing. And I figured, let me do my research and all that. These books came later, seriously. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happened to me that almost prevented me from doing what I'm doing today. So I have to stress that when you see me say try your best, I live by that. I believe in that. It's not a gimmick. It's not something because it sounds nice. When I tell people that I have a business and this is the cost for my services, I consider myself budget friendly because there are a lot of people out here who don't care about ESL. They don't care about your learning, but they will charge you a lot of money just to hear them babble about how wonderful they are. I care about you. I care about what I do. I care about your learning. Okay, even as teachers, if you're someone who says, hey Dora, I need help in this, as a teacher, I care about helping you in what you're trying to do. So everything I do has a personal element. That's what I'm trying to say. When I first published this book in 2019, I wrote this book in 2017, okay? And in 2017, that was a very hard year for me. It wasn't an easy year. There were a lot of changes and transitions that happened, and it took me almost a little over a year to publish this book because I just had my logo, but I did not have my business legalized yet. And so for legal reasons, I figured, okay, let me wait until my business becomes legal, become a limited liability company here in New York State, United States. That way I can actually publish my book. And that's why this book was published in 19. And then I love my mom. Let me just say now, my mother's my best friend. I call her Mama ESL. She is my best friend, and she's the reason why you see workbook 2 and oops, my books fell down. Okay, it's okay. And the science resource book. When you see these books, when you see these 2 books, think of my mom. It was my mom who said, hey, you might want to do a second workbook. I wasn't planning on doing a second workbook. I was satisfied with the first one. And then after this was published just last year, this book was published when my marriage was coming to a close, when my husband decided that he did not want to stay with me, that's when this book was published, okay? So everything I've been doing has a personal element. And then once the science resource book was published this year, this May is when I launched this book. That was during the time that I was signing divorce papers. So please know, ladies and gentlemen, that when you hear me say try your best, I really mean that. Every process I had to go through to publish books, to create lessons, to teach at language schools or nonprofit organizations, when I contact businesses and say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, to become certified. Every single year I've been working on my business hasn't been easy, friends. And it's still not easy. And I still look to work with different students, and I'm still always looking for something I can add to my business to help more people. It's not easy. So understand that when you decide to show that support, to follow me here, to buy my books, or you decide to work with me, and you know who you are, know that you have a part of Dara with you. Seriously, I legitimately love what I do. I love what I do, friends, okay? And I'm sorry, I didn't want to make this a whole testimony, but I just have to stress that because I'm so touched by the live I did with Teacher Will moments ago. And to hear him say that he admires me and he's inspired by my story touches me. As Black people, people of color, we don't get the representation in this profession the way we deserve. We don't get that respect. We don't get the same privileges as other teachers. We just don't. And that's just a fact, okay? And whether you want to believe it or not, as an American or non-American, that's just what it is. And I'm here to put the ESL profession on the map. I'm here to bring an awareness that this profession is needed, is necessary, and deserves to get the same respect as other professions. And as adult learners, because I only work with adults, I need the adult learners to understand that this is not a game. We're not just here for entertainment purposes. This is our livelihood. This is what we do. This is what we care about. And if you would rather work with a person who's jumping around and acting silly all day, if that works for you, that works for you. But if you're really looking to learn this language and understand that you're not going to be carrying books like this when someone's asking you a question, or if someone is trying to take advantage of you, you need to know how to handle yourself, especially if you come to cities like mine in New York City. You have to know. You're going to face difficulty. It's part of life. So if you're looking to learn the language and understand how to not just speak English, but to speak it well, confidently, where people can understand you, whether you have an accent or not, whether you're Black, white, or any color, doesn't matter. You come to the right place. There's teachers like myself out there that are ready. We are ready to help you. But if you're just here for entertainment, that's fine. That's your choice. But for me, this is not just entertainment. This is love. This is passion. This is my life. And I just hope that resonates with you, whoever's or anyone who's watching this video. Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm finished with my testimonial. If you're interested in supporting my business, all of these books are available on Amazon. If you want to contribute to my wonderful sign project, okay, please take a picture of a sign. It could be a sign like this or a store sign, COVID-19 sign. DM me. I will feature it here on my platform and share with everyone. If you want to work with me one-to-one, feel free to reach out to me. And if you're someone who's interested in becoming a teacher, a tutor, or you just have some questions about your teaching experience or whatever, I offer ESL coaching as well. I know I shouldn't have to say this, but I have to say it. All of the things I'm offering are paid services. Say it with me. Always try your best, because when you try your best, you certainly will do your best. Thank you for listening. I hope my story inspires someone out here, and I love you all so, so much. Thank you for your constant support. It means a lot to me, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you.